following podcast may contain some adult language. You've been warned.
Those of you who got an invite, welcome to Nerd Prom.
No matter where in the world you are, we're all Nerds International. With the hyphen.
Welcome to Finding the Narrative, a Genesys RPG podcast. This is the show dedicated to the Genesys role-playing system for Fantasy Flight Games, a show in which we, your hosts, discuss all things Genesys from both the players and a GM's perspective. I am Tony Fanning, and with me as always are my good friends and co-hosts, Chris Holmes and the infamous Stefan Dragonspawn. How are we doing, Stefan?
Stefan is doing good. Got to get some gaming on last weekend with some fellow nerds from Toronto, Corey, Judd, and his wife Jennifer, and our other friend Emma. We gamed at a little cottage near our place that they were able to rent, and played some card games, various board games, card games, and I ran for them Genesys, the Realms of Tyranoth pre-published adventure, The Haunted City.
Cool, dude.
Very nice.
They enjoyed it. I had my little bookmark, which proved to be really valuable. I should make more copies of that. And they were passing it along to look at the symbols. And so I made more for future games. So yeah, they were gronking it. I was taking my time explaining the mechanics, sometimes introducing a little more complexity as we went on, and not worrying too much about pushing the story forward. It's like, yeah, you guys have fun. You know, some interaction? Okay, let's do some PC interaction. And then the Wednesday before that, I played in Matt Jones' post-apocalyptic game that he's going to be running. We just did character creation, but it's pretty cool. It's Cthulhu-esque, post-apocalyptic, where Cthulhu rose and he flattened the Earth. So now the Earth is actually flat.
Oh, I actually saw that.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. Was it Arkham City or Cthulhu City or something like that, I thought.
No, it's the entire world is flat,
right.
So right now it's we're not based in one city, and I based my character off of another fellow nerd, Paris Conte. So my character is Archer Conte, one of the few remaining Aussie-speaking people, because Australia is now completely underwater.
Nice.
Awesome.
But unfortunately, he only learned his Australian accent through archive movies like Crocodile Dundee and
watching reruns of what's his name, the Crocodile Hunter.
Yeah, the Crocodile Hunter. Oh, he's such a beautiful specimen.
Awesome.
There you go. What about you, Chris?
Well, had a lot of fun last night playing in Eberron for sure, because got to use my top hat that I bought for my little goblin. We were on a train, and I went up to the door. We were basically the big bad evil woman, not guy, and opened up the door, and I'm like, "Hey, do you want beef?" That was like kind of the safe word, as in doors open, she's here, come attack. So it was pretty fun. It was pretty damn fun. Yeah, and I'm working on a 2-shot adventure. So.
Oh, you're a game master in that.
I'm a game master of that one. Yep.
Okay, so that's why that's the only time when you play female characters as an NPCs.
My goblin is my PC. I'm running another game. I'm running another game. No, she's.
Oh, okay.
The big bad evil woman who we were fighting, the boss monster, was a female. So.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I misunderstood there.
So, Tony, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Not bad. Sitting here all bloated, not so fresh, because I just made a pot roast tonight. Huge one. But instead of using potatoes, I threw a bunch of squash and zucchini in it because I'm keto friendly.
Nice.
Yes.
It was so damn good. But No, I just ran Eberron for my friendly local game store earlier this week. I've got a campaign that just started up there that the manager at the game store asked me to run. So we had our session 1, kind of murder mystery.
Cool.
I'm definitely taking it nice and slow, letting them do whatever they want, because this is a campaign. This is going to go as long as they want it to.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not one of those, I'm going to be done with this in 6 weeks. No, this is one where, hey, we're going to keep playing this till you guys are sick of it.
That's great.
Or you hit the end of the story, which I've got story that goes out like 13 levels. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Dude, rock on.
Yeah, I've been writing it since October. So,
Awesome.
but I'm pretty much done with that now. Right, no more writing on that. Yeah, just relaxing. Been doing a little bit of writing on some other things, but nothing that jumps out. However,
Yes.
I did write these show notes for this awesome show we have. We have no listener feedback, but we're going to jump into a show here soon, and we've called it Episode 50. Holy crap, it's episode 50.
Yeah.
It's not just a job, it's a career. As we do the careers for our Tales of the Epsilon Eclipse setting.
And Tony, cheers to you, motherfucker. That's half a century, baby. Boom. And you too, Stefan.
50 cents. Yes, congratulations on 50 episodes.
50 episodes.
Congratulations on 30 of those.
Yeah.
No, not quite, but maybe.
Quite, but
Pretty goddamn close, I think. Probably. Close to it. All right. Well,
better
then,
for having you, bud.
absolutely we are. All right. Yeah, let's move into it. Let's go boost the signal then, okay?
All right.
Yeah, sounds groovy.
All right, well, welcome to Boosting the Signal, where I know all of you are really looking forward to Stefan sharing all of the hot news for Genesis and new stuff on the Foundry that he's found. So, what do you have for us, Stefan? Looks like we got like about 80 pages worth, so this might be like a 6-hour episode. Sit back, everybody.
Yeah, that's it. Well, thank you for that sexy intro. It's always nice to hear. And there was quite a few things put up on the Foundry. So I'm just going to go through them real quickly. I'm sorry I can't go in more depth. Mm-hmm. So we start off with Dennis Warmer offers us something calls Heroes on Hand. And it includes 10 fantasy-based pre-generated characters. And he statted them out with 3 different XP levels. Starter, plus 50 XP, and plus 100. They're pretty well made, so you don't have to just rely on the standard ones that FFG made out, which they're fine, but these gives you a bit more to choose from. If you don't have time to write them up, you can choose one and then go from there. It's pay what you want.
Cool.
We'll have all the links in the show notes for all of these. Then we have Roy Altman's, from his little company, RPG Narco, kind of cool name, created the Genesis Adversary card template. So if you have Acrobat Reader, you can create your own little slick cards. Just fill them up with the stats that you need, and then you can print them out or just save them as PDFs for $3.99.
Cool.
And after that, we also have from someone that's also pretty prolific in the Genesis community, Expand Your Options with the Skills Guide by Guillaume Tardif, the guy who made the creator of the Inquisition, the dark fantasy kind of Genesis setting. Yeah. So inside here, you find lots of options to add narrative effects to skill checks. I bought it myself. And he goes a bit more detail about, what you can do with medicine, depending on the setting. Installing cyberware, for example, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't have time to read all of it, but that's one thing that really stuck out to me.
Wow, cool. 120 pages.
And charts. I think it is worth. You put a lot of effort into this, lots of thought. There's lots of charts of how to use threat and advantages, etc., with all these skills. So
cool.
It's a good option to have, even if you don't use it. Like good ideas.
Yeah.
It's a great resource. I've read that. It's very good.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
Yeah, I think it's already up to silver, if I remember correctly,
awesome.
level. So good for him. And for $9.95, yeah, like I said, maybe a bit more pricey compared to the other ones, but yeah, you get 120 pages of goodness.
Oh, yeah,
so and it's well laid out, so it looks good too. And then we have Jared Crawford. He created To Protect and Serve, which kind of reminded me of the other little setting about someone using like special forces in the military. This one is about playing cops, or whether it's SWAT teams or just regular policemen, detectives. It's a little starter kit for those kinds of stories around law enforcement. So you've got archetypes and careers and gear and some adversaries. It's mostly for the modern setting, but I'm sure you can reskin them a little bit for sci-fi or near sci-fi, like Shadow of the Beanstalk. You can have those characters involved there. And he says it's a work in progress. If there's other updates, he'll update the document, and you can get the update later on, the later version. And it's also pay what you want. So you can try it out.
Cool.
And finally, the Game Master's Eclectic Toolbox by S.F. Rattan. So it's an organized, interlinked, and bookmark compilation of the guy's most effective house rules that he's developed over the years that Genesys has been out, that he's used at his game table. He's crammed about, he says, almost everything he's discovered over the years running and playing Genesys that he wished he'd known starting out. So hopefully sharing his own experience with you. So you can try it out for $4.99 on DriveThruRPG again. And that's it. So I think I managed to cut that down from 6-hour show to maybe just 20 minutes.
Well done.
Very nice.
Yeah, nice summary, dude. Well done. Well done to all of you out there, too.
I think there was something else that popped up before the show notes, but it's like, maybe I'll cover it the next time.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
So, folks out there, if you want to see your little products show up on our Boosting the Signal, just put them up on the Foundry. Stefan will find them.
Find them?
Yes,
yep.
you will.
Do hope.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said, if you want me to review it, I don't know if you want to send me a copy. I'm not asking for free stuff, but if you want me to review it so I can boost the signal even more, I'd love to. I'm willing to pay for stuff if I have to. I mean, it's optional. I mean, I'm not asking for handouts here. But if you feel like doing so, contact us and let us know.
But at the end of the day, we hope that some of this, bringing it to your attention, puts it on your radar and puts a couple extra dollars in those creators' pockets so those guys feel encouraged to continue it. So,
yeah, at the very least. Yeah.
Welcome to 50 Pieces of Awesome! Here's Chris! Yeah!
Wow! Thank you, Tony, for that intro. That actually kind of hurt my head a little bit. No. All right. Well, I did
my best 80s metal voice. Come on, man.
And I tried to return the favor.
AC/DC.
Yeah. So I didn't necessarily have to scour the web this week because I believe it was Tony passed me along this little nugget called the Genesys Dice Result Resource by, I believe, Robert Thayer. I'm going to have the link to his website out there and to this handy-dandy little tool. Basically, if you have an internet connection, if you have a phone, you have whatever, at the table, you could quickly go here, and it gives you how you can spend threat or despair, advantage, triumph on anything like combat, social checks, magic, hacking, fear, insanity. That's always a good one to kind of. I know. Yeah, we have to kind of look that up every time too. Crafting, alchemy. I'm not sure what a sensing is. I think that's a homebrew, maybe. I'm not sure what that is. But then there's also enchanting as well. Oh, that's a Shadowrun homebrew for enchanting. Oh, Shadowrun homebrew. A sensing. Yeah, so that was it. So that's cool. And if you look up at the very top, there's also a Genesys magic calculator as well that I found. And you could put in either intelligence, will, cunning, or presence, and your knowledge, your ranks in knowledge, and it'll build up and tell you what your difficulty would be. So I'm going diverse here. I want to augment, and I can add haste for free. I can do swift and additional target. Oh, that's going to be formidable for me. Boom, quickly, got it going. And again, this is on the web. So if you are, if your GMs allow like electronic devices around the table, or if you're you're playing online, very handy. Very handy to put that there.
Very nice.
So yeah, and it looks like it's
time I'm playing as a catfolk bard.
Yes, exactly. And it looks like he's got the expanded player's guide stuff in here too. So I go to Primal and I see Transform. I went to Arcana at first and I was looking. I'm like, ooh, there's Mask and Predict. Where's Transform? He totally missed Transform. Oh, wait a second. That's Primal only. So maybe some enhancements coming up would be selecting the talents that open up these different spell types for us too. But this is cool. This is pretty sweet. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Awesome.
I thought it was nifty enough to share it to you. So.
Oh yeah. This is awesome. This is
kind of remind. Yeah, that's at first I thought it was dice roller, but just dice results. So
yeah,
which is kind of cool. So
how to spend those
rolled up.
Yeah, how to spend those threat and successes and everything. So pretty cool.
Well, it's like it kind of reminded me of someone else that created what's called RPG Sessions. It's a website as well. It's a dice roller for both Star Wars, and there's a tab for Genesys, and apparently you can visit it again. I think it would be great because apparently he's updated the website with even more options. So I just haven't had time to look at. But those are two definitely great resources. Awesome.
Yeah, man. Pretty cool.
So so Robert, there you go. Here's your 50 pieces of awesome. Sending them FedEx to make sure they get there. Don't spend them all. But if you do, keep working on this stuff. If there's more stuff, more ideas, cool.
Yes, we want more. We want more.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Well, hey. Oh, nice, Stefan. Was that you cracking that whip on me?
Yep.
All right. Well,
whip it good.
Well, welcome to the Books of Genesys, where we are not just going to be a job today. It's a career. So we're going to be talking about the careers, where we're just going to break down the careers that we've selected for the Tales from the Epsilon Eclipse, and open up your books, because we're going to be grabbing stuff from the core book, Realms of Tyrnoth, and Shadows of the Beanstalk. So, who wants to kick this puppy? Who wants to start?
It's not just 4 classes, like fighter, mage, cleric, and thief. Like, no, there's a bit more.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. So, stuff it, DCC movement. All right, so anyhow.
Shots fired.
OSR movement, whatever. I don't know. We've got. So, I started this off. I kicked it off. I put together the comprehensive list sent it to my cohorts here. They gave it the seal of approval. Mm-hmm. So I should probably start off and say I reskinned a lot of careers. Mm-hmm. When I reskinned them, I took skills that they didn't need from the setting that they were in and put them in skills that fit the setting that we have.
Mm-hmm. I'm counting 16.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is great, by the way. I love that.
Yeah, we've got a goodly number of careers available. So the first two, I reskinned. Well, first three, I reskinned right from Shadow of the Beanstalk. And we can go into what those are, what they do. If you want each to read one, I'll start with the Mentalist, which is our psychic hacker. So nice. I took the hacker from Shadow of the Beanstalk, or the runner, excuse me, and said, you know what? I like the skill list, but it's not going to fit our setting. So here's what we've got. Our Mentalist has Cool and Deception. It also has Knowledge Mentalism, which is basically like Knowledge the Net. Mental Intrusion, which is basically your computer's hacking skill, only it's for hacking those brains. Mental Discipline, which is basically your sysops, computer sysops, but it's for defending those fancy gray matters.
Yep. And
then Perception, Skullduggery, and Streetwise to round it out, just like the Shadow of the Beanstalk runner has.
Gotcha. I like it.
Because after hacking that mind, you have some data and you have to sell it. So
damn, Skippy, you gotta know where to go,
exactly.
Where to sell that hot commodity,
and make sure you protect your medulla oblongata.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, so that's one. So that's one way of reskinning something. Sometimes it's like it's not obvious. Like it's a runner, computers. Yeah, but what if it's worth hacking your mind?
That's right. That's right. Stefan, you want to take the next one, or do you want me to?
Oh, go ahead.
All right. Well, it's now. How are we pronouncing this? Chaperone or chaperonnier or chaperon?
Chaperon.
Chaperon.
French.
So
French. Chaperon.
This is going to be our reskinned Sysop from Shadows of the Beanstalk, a Psi Guardian, if you will. It's going to have Brawl and Cool. Going to have Knowledge Mentalism. So it's got the knowledges of those mind mazes, right? The mazes. This is the guy that's actually going to be creating, putting those mazes up for people. Medicine, obviously, because if you need to go do that Inception thing and go multiple levels, right, into the defenses or whatever, the hacking, defend the hacking. Then Mental Discipline, which is that skill we're using for the quote-unquote sysop skill, right, and the mind guardian part of it. Perception, ranged light, and this guy's got a little bit of combat associated with him, and streetwise as well.
So it's kind of like a professional bodyguard for your brain and your body.
Exactly. Yeah. I like it. I love the flavor of it. Tasting very good. All right, what do we have next here, Stefan?
Well, next I think Tony should cover this one. He's the one who wrote it up.
Well, no, we're talking about the other one that we reskinned, and that's the
other one. All right, so we'll just
next one
down.
One.
Sorry.
Look at the show notes. Yep. The third one on the list. There we go.
Yep. All right. So then we go to the Interceptor, which is the reskinned investigator, also from Shadow of the Beanstalk. So your private eye, but he has a bit of a psionic edge. So his skills include coercion, knowledge mentalism, of course, because he has to know about what goes on in the brain. Some leadership, mental intrusion. So sometimes he has to hack. This guy's not talking, so got to extract information somehow.
Cool.
For that interrogation.
Exactly.
Nice. Yep.
Then perception. So you can see if the guy's lying or anything. And of course, he's probably on the street a lot. Some ranged light, bit of streetwise, and vigilance.
There we go.
Bit of skills to protect his meat when he's on the street.
So you can have a good Psy, bad Psy.
Exactly.
If you want to.
If it's in a far future setting, it could be a light side, dark side.
Oh, somewhere far, far away as well, right? It would have to be far, far away.
Yeah, and a long time ago as well.
It's too much. It's too much.
I know it is.
All right. So, and then we had a few others that we did. I just renamed the soldier to veteran. Some of these are just renames.
Yep.
To give it a unique kind of a feel.
Mm-hmm.
Those would be like the soldier from the core rulebook is veteran now. The pilot is called jockey.
Nice.
The explorer is called traveler.
Mm-hmm.
The medic is called a chirurgeon. The socialite is called barfly because hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's always the bar.
I love that, dude. Yeah.
The entertainer is called the headliner.
Nice.
And then the con artist I kind of rolled into kind of, it's called a shift, so to speak.
Cool.
Techs are engineers and leaders are frontman. Because, going with that bar entertainment theme kind of.
And we did renamed the bounty hunter into a bouncer. Your martial artist when watching a doe.
That's right. So I took the bounty hunter from Shadow of the Beanstalk, just renamed it Bouncer. So
gotcha. Now, did we? So I see that we have. So for the bouncer, I see we have discipline in there. Do we just have the regular discipline?
I forgot the word mental. That's all.
It would be mental discipline. Cool.
Yep.
I'll make a note of it.
I'll add that now.
Sweet.
There.
Right.
I missed it the other day.
Yeah.
I would have let you know. But I saw it then.
Go. So the bouncer.
Good catch now, buddy. Before the public sees it.
I know. Excuse me. Whew. All right. Well then. So the next part are the new careers that we've picked. We've got 3 of them coming up. Stefan did one, Tony did one, and I wrote up the one for the last one here, but it was Tony's idea. I went ahead and wrote the flavor text for it. I'm glad he gave me the creative license to do that. So why don't you kick us off, Stefan, with the one you did here? Sure.
Well, he had to give you the one, because you're the one who was more clamoring for it.
It's a secret.
I know.
It's probably been on social media too while we were doing that.
A little bit. All right. So with me, it was the Mind Mage. So we introduced psionics. There's no other spellcasters. There's no arcane or divine or primal or verse, and no runes. So we call it the Mind Mage. It's a psionics or psychic wizard. I had come up with the Mentari as a name for my the race that I sort of contributed, the Zal, the insect race.
Cool.
So whatever name you apply, each race can have their own name for it.
Nice.
They all do the same thing, basically. So a Mind Mage is trained their mind to affect the world around them. Be the closest thing to a sorcerer or wizard in a fantasy setting kind of thing. But they don't need fancy components or to cast their spell. They don't even need gestures or words. It's just very subtle art.
Cool.
A bit more broader than a mentalist, a chaperone, or blogger, or boggler. Sorry. Mm-hmm. That's what really, makes them. And I added, and what truly makes a Mind Mage so fearsome is their almost natural attunement to a special crystal that can be shaped into different implements or embedded, like in staves or crowns or medallions, or the ring that I have my character use in the last Advantageous Threat we used, I think, or the previous one.
Nice.
And of course, these Mind Mages need a place to practice, to train all their knowledge. Mm-hmm. So the Endless Halls is where Mind Mages are taught how to control their powers. It's also where all the knowledge that they've gathered through millennia have been written down or recorded across the whole multiverse. And it's also where they have the vault, where sometimes very powerful and sometimes dangerous relics are kept.
Ooh.
So that's a pocket dimension in itself, heavily guarded by the best of mind mages. And of course, they'll hire powerful guardians, side guardians, or chaperones to help protect their vault from any other kind of intrusion that someone may try to access the vault through. And of course, the bogglers may help as well.
Very nice.
And their career skills, of course. Well, first off, a mind mage would have access to the following actions: attack, augment, but only on their self; curse, as well as heal and mask, but only on themselves for healing and mask to begin with; and predict, as well as some utility, if a player can come up with it. Later on, they can get advanced techniques, i.e. talents, that can allow them to use some of the actions that are only available on themselves and extend it to others.
Oh.
But it takes a bit more training. So it's like, kind of balances out the fact that even if you bound and gag a mind mage, he could still use his powers.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and their career skills, coercion, knowledge. In this case, knowledge. I wrote metaphysics, but it could be mentalism to be more in line.
That covers the psionics shaping and whatnot.
Yep.
Okay,
you were
sure.
right.
Mind over matter.
Right, and then knowledge multiverse, because they travel between the different dimensions. Mental discipline, of course, to protect their precious minds.
Mm-hmm.
Perception, psionics, which is the skill that is the equivalent of arcane, divine, or primal. A bit of stealth and vigilance. They're not combat oriented. They would be outside of combat, staying, as one of our popular fellow nerds would say, in chicken shit range.
Yes, exactly. Cool.
But helping out in their own abilities.
Very nice. Well done little paragraph there. I like the endless halls. That just gives me this vision of this extra dimensional space that is, it's endless. That's awesome.
Well, that's
I love it.
There are lots of halls, got rooms here and there. Mm-hmm. You turn a corner, it's like, oh, no, it's another hall.
What popped in my head? Mordor in Lord of the Rings. When Gandalf lights it up and it's just endless. You don't see the other end. It's just there, right? It's huge. This is cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but maybe not as dark.
Moria?
You're right.
Yeah, Moria.
The Mines of Moria.
Yeah, you said Mordor.
Mordor, yeah.
Did I say Mordor?
Yes, go back and listen to it.
I may have projected Mordor, but I was thinking Moria.
Yes,
Very
nice. That's what we read in your mind, that you meant Moria.
Yeah, you better get some psychic constructs up to protect that brain of yours.
That's right.
Yeah,
I need somebody who has the mazes skill. Oh, wait a second. That's not a thing, is it?
So there you go. The Mind Mage.
Well done. I like it.
They affect the world around them, and they're the holders of knowledge of any kind of arcane, not arcane, but psionic arts.
Yeah, I like the flavor you added with kind of the psi crystal, or that special crystal that they could shape and put in their implements. So pretty cool.
Well, I thought even today in our real world, some people say that crystals are supposed to help you meditate and stuff.
Well, focus is the energy, right?
Yeah, exactly. So why not push it further and make it actually something that would be a part of an implement?
Very nice.
All right.
Well, shall I go on to reading about mine?
Go for it, dude.
I think so, since I kind of mentioned it when I talked about the Mind Mages. So let the cat out of the bag.
That's okay. So I needed this one to be kind of unique This was something that is not going to be seen very often. Probably won't be chosen as a player character very often because they're all about crafting things. But it's the Boggler. Yeah. So the Boggler crafts neural mazes or traps, physical or otherwise, across the multiverse, hidden in small private shops or working by appointment only in corporate mega complexes, are the Bogglers, a specialized guild of architects and craftsmen that ply their trade designing, building, and installing mental mazes and mental constructs into the neural networks of countless beings across the known worlds. The items they create protect the secrets of millions from malicious mentalists and provide the tools used by chaperones to defend the minds of others. So the talent to create these nebulous fabrications is rare and complex, and it can only be learned after years of apprenticeship to a master of the trade. Thus, Bogglers are often respected as much for their dedication and discipline as they are for the skills they possess, because it takes years to learn. Mm-hmm. Some Bogglers set out amongst groups of adventurers, traveling the multiverse in search of new, unique, and bizarre concepts to incorporate into their work, plying their trade along the way to make a living. Yeah. So what we've got here, as far as skills, computers, because they need to be able to draw up the plans for those mind mazes that they're creating. Mm-hmm. Cool, because they got to keep their cool. Knowledge mentalism. They need to have an intrinsic knowledge of the mind and its workings. Knowledge multiverse. They got to know the peoples of these known worlds and their cultures and what is most important to protect. Mm. Knowledge science, because the mentalism isn't the only way to get secrets out of somebody's brain. There's also scientific ways. Negotiation, because, well, any good tradesperson has negotiation. Yep. Yeah. Ranged light, because they need to defend themselves. Yeah. And skullduggery, because trap making. Duh.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say ranged light when negotiations fail.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Awesome. Dude,
that's our Boggler. That's our architect of the mind.
Yes.
Where did you get the name Boggler from, by the way?
So I was looking for some, mind-boggling. I started looking at synonyms.
Okay. They boggle your mind, man.
Right. Yes. What would so I got to the word confusion, and I'm like confuser. No, that's not right. So then I did synonyms, and I saw boggle, and I'm like, Boggler. Nice. Boom, done.
They boggle your mind.
Yeah. Sometimes a Boggler sometimes reminds me of sometimes old English names for certain malicious spirits, like a red cap or something like that, a Boggler.
Yes.
I hadn't thought of that either. Yeah.
But still, when I read Neil Gaiman's novel, I forget the name. Oh, God damn it! Not American Gods, but Neverwhere. There was a couple of characters came to mind like that. But anyway.
Well, I think in Harry Potter, they have what are the Boggarts, right? I think those were the ones that you have to think of something that you're afraid of or what's funny or whatever, because they project onto you what your fears are.
Right.
And, who was afraid of spiders? I made them put roller skates on and they fell down. So
yeah.
So there's that Boggle name there. So that's cool.
Or Boogler, yeah. No, it's very cool.
I like it. I like it, dude.
But we got one more.
Oh, yes. We sure do.
Someone who insisted on having this.
Oh, I did not insist. This was Tony's idea, and I ran with it, and I might have sprinted as well.
Once you picked it up, you insisted.
I did. I'm like, oh yeah. So, everybody, you must get ready for. First off, I'm okay because I am a lumberjack. Yes, we have the lumberjack career. To be a lumberjack,
and you work all day.
All right. To be a lumberjack is to take the oath of the sequoia. If they stand behind you, protect them. If they stand beside you, respect them. If they stand against you, defeat them. To be a lumberjack is to be an Order of the Axe and Saw Templar. To be a lumberjack is to have mind, body, and spirit as strong as the tallest sequoia, otherwise known as the redwood. Mm-hmm. And finally, to be a lumberjack is to wear the flannel vestments with honor and pride. Yes, everybody. I love it. Yes, everybody. Lumberjacks are the holy warriors of the multiverse, trained in the arts of psionics and lumberjacking from a very early age. Many of the lumberjacks gather at a random location each year for the tournament, or the Lumberjack Multiverse Championship, which is 3 days of lumberjacking events. From sawing, chopping, speed climbing, log rolling, boom running, and the axe melee. Lumberjacks are often found leading the mass battles against the Hive, or on some holy quest to find an unfindable ancient artifact, because it's the journey that defines them. So, there you go, everybody. You can play a lumberjack. Awesome. Thank you, Tony, for the inspiration, my friend.
There we go.
So yes, Tony is like, we're having lumberjacks, but they're going to be holy Templars. They're going to be paladins. I'm like, oh,
that's it. Yes. That's it. They go out on their journey. They go out on a limb, but they're always deeply rooted.
Yes, they are. And continue the puns. Well done, Stefan. You rock, buddy. Cheers, motherfucker.
Cheers. And sometimes their bark is as worse as their bite.
Oh. No,
very nice.
You got a million of them. Okay, so you guys are wondering, what are the skills? Well, to speed climb and the log roll and to do the boom running, you're going to need athletics. You might think you might need coordination, but athletics is where it's at. Leadership is a key because they're leading those battles. They're at the forefront they are on the front lines against the Hive, or the Fury, or whatever we're going to call them. I think we started calling when we brainstormed, we call them the Hive, but we'll get into that.
We will eventually have a definitive name for them.
Right, but that is it. They are on the front lines, and because they are into they need to understand psionics. They do have knowledge metaphysics, and to wield those big axes, they need melee heavy. Yeah. They have mental discipline to protect their minds. They also have the psionic skill as a class skill. They are resilient. They have resilience and, survival.
Of course, yes.
So, lumberjacking, baby.
Yeah.
Lumberjack.
Exactly. Awesome.
So, what y'all think? Let us know what you guys think of the lumberjack and the boggler and the mind mage. Did the lumberjack boggle your mind? Yeah. Were you ensnared by the mind mage's abilities as well? Let us know.
Yes, leave us your comments at our email.
Leave us. Oh my gosh! Way to go!
I saw what you did there.
Yeah.
No.
I know I'm leaving some of you in knots. So.
Well then, this is just getting a little too sappy. So let's move on to to our next segment.
That's okay. I'll just do the plank right now. All right, welcome to the next segment of the show. This is a segment of our show where Tony chooses an adversary from one of the books and leaves you in anticipation about how we dissect it bit by bit. So, come up to the lab and see what's on the slab.
Very nice. Thank you for that awesome intro, buddy.
There we go. Good.
So today you're going to turn to your expanded player's guide, and that is going to be page 15, the Gorgon. This is a nemesis. So the Gorgons appear as ageless women with snakes in place of their skin. Their gray-green skin, excuse me. And snakes in place of their hair. Their gray-green skin is cracked. Jeez, there we go. Already dangerous, they are also wrapped in such a sacred majesty that any mortal who looks upon them turns to stone.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow, yeah, no wonder why the 8 in attack. Wow.
Yeah.
Power. Jeez.
So these gals, they've got some pretty solid stats here for Nemesis. They got 3s and everything except for agility and intellect. Intellect being a 2 and agility being a 4. They have a soak value of 4, so they must be wearing something. They're not completely naked.
There's cracked skin, I guess.
Isn't that the less you wear, the better? Like chainmail bikinis is like as good as plate?
Yes. Naked passive defense kind of thing.
Because it does give them melee and range defense of 2, so they've got to be wearing some kind of armor. They have a wound threshold of 15 and a strain threshold of 12, so not a bad stat block.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Talents wise, they're sitting on parry 2, and that's it. They don't have anything else as far as talents.
Well, they do have
skills.
They have 2 in their defense, though. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Melee and range defense.
Yeah,
right.
So you could.
It's got to be their either their scaly hide or their armor or something.
Probably.
Maybe it is the chainmail bikini with the pinpoint defense barrier or something.
Maybe, or they're just moving around like snakes. They're very, snake-style kung fu.
That dried skin and cracked. It's kind of a hard armor.
Skill-wise, they have a cool of 4, coercion of 2, knowledge 3. Melee light of 4. So simple skill block, but very skilled in what they are skilled at. Mm-hmm. But what's key here is this ability, which is their petrifying gaze. Mm-hmm. So as an action, they may make opposed cool versus coordination check, targeting one character within medium range to immobilize the target until the end of this character's next turn, plus 1 additional turn for each additional 2 successes. Wow. They may spend 3 advantage to stagger the target until the end of the character's next turn, and may spend a triumph to turn the target to stone.
What the hell?
That's permanent.
And but she's rolling what? So cool is based off of what? Willpower?
Coolest presence.
Presence. So she's gonna have 3 yellow with the cool of 4. That's a
yellow and green.
Wow.
Before flipping a story point.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. And you might be thinking, why cool? Well, cool's used for your initiative if you are getting the jump on somebody when you're ambushing somebody. So, yeah.
Which would be good to ambush someone so you can surprise them and look at them in the eye and petrify them.
Yeah, that's right.
Hello, what are you doing in my lair?
Wow.
Other ability? And terrifying as well. Sorry.
Yes, and they also have terrifying. At the start of the encounter, all opponents are going to make a daunting fear check. That's 4 purple dice as an out-of-turn incidental. Wow. If there are multiple sources of fear in the encounter, the opponents make 1 fear check against the most terrifying.
Ah, there you go.
And then they have the Gorgon Blade, which is just a nasty sword, but you could really outfit them with anything. Mm-hmm. So that's the key stats and abilities, the overview of these things. Obviously, it's your standard Medusa, as we've always called them, but the Gorgon was actually a race of these women, and Medusa was just one of them.
Yep. From memory, there were 3 Gorgons in the Greek mythology, and Medusa was the only mortal one, apparently.
Correct.
So, as opposed to another popular D20 system where the Gorgon was a totally different creature, and the Medusa was a totally different creature.
Yeah. But the key thing to take away from here, when thinking of reskinning ideas, is you want to think of creatures that could petrify you, or turn you into a stone or otherwise different type of statue. So I had some reskinning ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one, the cockatrice. It appears in fantasy literature. It appears in Greek mythology. This is a flying bird, giant chicken almost, that can with its gaze turn people to stone.
Nice.
When I'm thinking of that particular creature and all of my reskinning ideas, I would probably reduce, for all of my reskinning ideas, I would reduce their presence by 1 and maybe increase their cunning by 1. Each of them being more of an animal intelligence.
Gotcha.
Right.
And then with the also, I would with their skill set, I would probably give them survival instead of knowledge. So instead of their knowledge, they would have survival at 3.
Right.
Yeah. They're more animal-like. Yeah.
Good.
So the first one is the cockatrice. The second one is the basilisk. So whether you think basilisk from Harry Potter with this giant freaking snake that can turn people to stone, or has this ultra poisonous bite, or whether you think the basilisk that we remember from mythology and from playing D Shift 7D, it's a giant lizard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Basically a monitor lizard that can turn people to stone with its gaze.
Mm-hmm.
The mud golem. Now, mud golems can encase their victims in golem, basically turning them to stone. So
they're good at pottery. The mud golem.
Yeah.
Right.
I would probably change the mud golem even more, increasing its wound threshold, dropping its strain down to maybe 8.
Yep.
And giving it a brawn of 4 instead of an agility of 4.
Yeah.
But everything else,
soak. Yeah.
Yep. Everything else would be pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one, I'm thinking, okay, let's go to Viking mythology.
Okay.
Go to those frost beasts that can breathe ice on you and turn you into an icy statue and freeze you instantaneously.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Like dipping you into nitrogen.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's basically your basilisk, only it's ice themed.
Yeah. Definitely.
And it's another giant frosty creature. It's more lizard like. But all of these are great ideas for skinning, reskinning a Gorgon, and getting the best use out of that petrifying gaze, because that's really what you're going for.
Exactly. So, how would we survive petrification? There's actually a sidebar on page
there is
16. I'm not sure. I didn't have it in the show notes, so I wasn't sure whether you're going to mention it or not.
No, I was. But thank you for bringing it up, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be petrified. I just know it.
This is
First, I was afraid, though, because I failed my terrifying check. Right? My fear check.
This is a sidebar, meaning it's an optional rule.
Yeah.
I'm just a stoner over here.
Petrification, like death, can be a very frustrating experience for your players. I don't agree all the time. You should be willing to turn your players' characters to stone, but have a way for them to be restored to life later on. Maybe much later on, at the end of the campaign, is my suggestion. But just kidding. Magic is always a good solution. A daunting Arcana, Divine, or Primal check will do it. Should restore the petrified, and that's a narrative use. I would not allow it to happen during combat. I'd have to be a ritual.
Right. I would even. I think a verse would be so cool to just almost. But you don't necessarily want to shatter them, because if they're turned to stone. Right. So maybe verse wouldn't be a good one.
Now, of course, if you're doing it with the frost beast, maybe you just gotta use add the fire descriptor to to a healing spell
there you go.
to warm them up.
That's right.
Who knows? But
that's where Priest of Kelos rule.
There you go.
Obviously, smart characters may fight a Gorgon without looking at it.
Yep.
And they act as though they have the blinded critical injury, which is in the critical injury chart on 115 of the core rulebook. and therefore they cannot be targeted by the petrifying gaze.
No, that's it. If some of our listeners have ever watched the movies, there was an old one and the remake, The Clash of the Titans.
Oh, yeah.
Characters, of course, they knew about the Gorgon. Yeah, try to reflect it or use the shiny inside of their shields.
Yep. Exactly.
Didn't work all the time, but hey.
I did like this. I did like this. The last two sentences of the first paragraph there, Tony, where you could potentially allow the players, the characters, to be restored after the Gorgon's defeat. And maybe pouring the blood. I remember doing that, pouring the blood, or needing the blood of a Gorgon to turn somebody as from stone to flesh back.
Right. Which is where I would go. I would also say, like, if you wanted to do that, you could take the Gorgon's blood as an ingredient for an alchemy check to create a salve that can be put on.
There you go.
And a good way to use that knowledge lore check. It's like, do you know what you need to turn them back to stone from back to flesh?
That's right.
You could turn the next adventure into how do we get Bob back to normal Bob and not Stone Bob?
That's right.
The Stoner Bob.
That's right. It's Stoned Bob instead of Stoner.
I was thinking, how would you apply this? It's a creature related to something that's like a sci-fi. Like, I was thinking a robot might have some kind of dart that they inject that sort of paralyzes or petrifies the flesh.
There you go.
Any one of these things could be.
Yeah, nanobots.
Nanobots could be themed to be a ray instead of a
gaze.
A gaze. It could be a ray gun that does that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the skills would really change either, right? I mean,
no. Not necessarily.
Knowledge, melee light, right? To fire like little needle or pistols or something, or those bots.
Or the ray could just be aimed at someone's eyes or the face, and that's
there you go.
That still can, and you can still use the reflection. You're not looking at it. You're trying to reflect the gaze back to the robot to
there you go,
to destroy it.
Nice.
Very nice.
Nice. Well done, Tony.
Yeah.
That was very
thank
cool,
you.
dude. I like this. I like this section of the show. I like this On The Slab.
It's a good segment, yes.
I decided to take the creature I made on the slab and throw it at you guys for our advantageous threat.
Oh, no. Welcome to Advantageous Threats, where we build and roll and narrate some die results with some sample skill checks, and hopefully we entertain you as well. And we have a little bit something special, a little out of the ordinary for this episode. And I'll kick it off to Tony to explain what he's going to have us do. Tony?
Yes.
So I'm taking a sample from Tales of the Epsilon Eclipse as a GM. So the barkeeper, or the main NPC, has split the patrons.
We don't want to call them the BM. The barmaster. Sorry.
No.
The brewmaster.
I mean the the brewmaster. That's right. The brewmaster.
Barkeeper, the BK.
All right.
Has split the patrons into pairs and sent them out into a monster-infested jungle on a strange tropical island to search for a tremendously rare cask of Thunder Sky rum, supposedly hidden there by the infamous megaversal pirate Iraquella Darkspire.
Oh my god, I love the names. Great.
Chris and Stefan's characters have entered into a strange clearing occupied by a single circular thatch-roofed structure. They believe may hold a clue to the cask, when suddenly something enormous and terrifying emerges.
Oh no!
So,
but why is the rum
I have an enormous and terrifying image to put in the Skype chat for you two gentlemen. Unfortunately, our listeners cannot see it, but behold.
What the fuck is that? Looks like freaking the Swamp Thing.
It's not.
Jesus.
It's not a tiny man in a white suit going, the plane.
No, it is not. It is a giant creature that appears to be made of mud, and its eyes glow with a baleful fire.
Oh. All right.
Oh, my gosh. So, pretty sure we're doing that out of turn incidental then, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So start with the terrifying out of turn incidental, both of you. So that's going to be a mental discipline check.
Yes. Good thing I'm trained in it. Oh, do we want to describe our characters first, or when we?
We'll do that after.
Do it afterwards.
You guys roll.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
And what is the?
So let's begin. So this one, I scaled it down a little bit because you guys are such a small party size. So this one is a smaller one. So he's only a hard
8 feet tall. Oh,
check.
Okay, just hard.
Hard.
Yes, not daunting.
Alrighty then. Let me see. I have nothing to add to this because I have 0 earned XP. Yes, everybody. I created a character that has 0 earned XP. Okay.
Very nice.
All right, I'll go ahead and roll mine first there, Stefan. So I have a willpower of a 3, mental discipline of 1, and then the 3 purple. Anything else or we're good?
That's good.
All right. We have gotten a net advantage.
A net advantage.
Failure
Chris,
with an advantage. Yes.
First explain who your character is and then his response to the fearful creature in front of him.
All right. So, I am playing Joseph Jas Manfrand, or Big Joe. He is a Norska lumberjack wielding a great axe. That should shock everybody. I'm playing a lumberjack. Wearing his flannel vestments over his shiny new scale mail. And he's on his first mission as an Order of the Axe and Saw Templar. And he just peed himself a little. as mentally disciplined as he is, yeah, little pee came out.
All right. That's warming, and it'll give you a boost die on your first attack.
Awesome.
First action.
That's great.
It's warm and comforting to be resting in your own pee a little.
Just a little bit. Like I'm back in the womb.
Yeah, the kind of the fight or flight response is leaning more towards fight.
That's right, before I go back into that fetal position I had in the womb. Anyway.
All right, Stefan.
All right, I will roll mine. There we go. All right, so those 2 cancel out there. I'm left with I'm a bit like in Joe's shoes as well. I'm also left with an advantage.
Oh my gosh! Seriously? Oh, that's awesome.
All right, so describe your character and then her response.
So, I am playing Hethal Jin, a.k.a. Jin, a Zolhenal Mentari. Those are the long, tall, moth-like insect, like creature.
Nice.
And they're the ones who are psionically endowed. So they're the equivalent of mind mages. So she's experienced Mentari, and here assigned to Joe as an evaluator on his first mission as a lumberjack.
Oh, nice! I didn't see that you added that.
Big
That's
and muddy.
great.
Yep, no, she wasn't expecting something big and muddy.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
quivering in a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's do a quick initiative check. So it would use its cool for initiative.
Yep.
So it's going to have 4 dice, but only because I have reduced its presence to 2. It's only going to have 2 of those as yellow, 2 green.
Gotcha.
Grand total of 4 successes, 3 advantage for it.
All right, I've got 3.1.
3-1.
I have 1.5. Still peeing myself.
Right. So it goes first. So it's going to be using its terrifying gaze.
Oh, scheiße.
Petrifying Gaze.
On who?
And I'm going to roll D10 because I can't really decide. Chris, you're even. Stefan, you're definitely odd.
Yeah. There's
No, I'm not.
I rolled a 3. So apparently it sees the big insect woman as the more deadly
potential, dangerous foe.
That's great.
All right. So this is going to be an opposed cool versus coordination, I believe.
Yep.
Oh.
Know what it said?
Coordination.
Cool versus coordination.
Cool versus coordination. I got it up right here.
Yep.
All right. Well, I don't have any skill ranks in coordination.
No.
No.
So
and
what is
coordination is based off of which ability again?
agility? So I'm rolling this one.
It's not like you have a podcast or anything there, Stefan. Jesus. No.
Yeah, I have 2. No, she has 2 agility. I just don't have it handy in front of me.
So right now I'm sitting here at 2 yellow, 2 green, 2 purple dice pool.
2 yellow, 2 green, 2 purple. Stefan,
well,
one of those 2 story points. Feel free to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm
it.
flipping one because she's experienced. Maybe.
Okay.
And she's accompanied by a.
With all those advantages that I got on my initiative that really didn't count for anything, can I quickly? Hey, Virtue Eyes, it's looking at us.
However, it's going to get a boost die because it had a bunch of advantage on initiative as well, and
awesome.
this is a common tactic for it. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a boost die on it.
No, I just flipped the story point because I'm accompanied by a lumberjack.
Sounds good. So I gave it a setback die for you yelling "avert your eyes."
Well, I'm
there
okay.
There we go.
All right, rolling it up.
All right.
So first of all, the difficulty dice came back blank. The single purple. The boost die cancels out my red die of my challenge die with all the threat on it.
All right.
Leaving me with a single challenge die, or proficiency die being canceled out by the setback, leaving me with a bunch of positive dice that rolled positive results.
Uh-oh.
So we have 4 successes, 1 advantage.
Means you can do something.
Yes.
Yes.
So you're going to be ensnared for 2 turns.
All right.
Yep.
So that is
for the additional successes.
Yes, for the additional successes. Not enough advantage, but because you're averting your eyes, both of you are, I'm going to provide you a setback dice from attack. Whichever one of you goes next.
Right.
Due to my advantage. So.
Well, I'll.
Since you're not the one, immobilized,
I'll go.
You can go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think Joe will swear something in his French Norskian accent, right? And he's gonna close the range. Is it short, medium?
It's short.
So he's got his axe out, leading with the great axe.
Just end every phrase by wee wee.
Wee. All right. So he's a brawny fella. So he's got a brawn of 4. He's got melee heavy of 1. So that's going to be 1 yellow, 3 green, and it's a 2 purple for melee attack.
Okay.
He'll aim and get that second boost die.
As you can see, it's got rocky, hardened chunks inside there that give it an armor of some type. So it's going to have 2
setback
melee armor.
2 melee armor. And let's see here. Do I have any talents? No, because I don't have any experience points. He's green, everybody.
He's a green leaf.
All right. And you know what? This is his first. He wants to impress Jin here. So I'm going to flip a story point and turn one of these greens into a yellow. So he's got 2 yellow, 2 green, 2 blue, 2 purple, and 2 black. And you give me a setback die because I'm averting my eyes. I'll take a 3rd setback die for that. And Tony, did you want to maybe?
Nope, I'm happy.
You're happy? All right. All right. Feeling that, channeling the pee a little bit. It's warm on the inside. We'll see. Oh, some blanks. Okay, couple of the... So the armor didn't really matter for him. Okay, so those threats get canceled out, and I am left with 2 net successes and 2 advantage. And I did not write the stats for the Great Axe on here, but I'm thinking it's somewhere along the lines of like 8, I think?
I think it's 10.
Is it 10 for a Great Axe? All right, 10.
Yeah, let's call it 10 for now.
So 12 damage, and I think the crit range is 3, so I rolled 2. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I'm actually going to pass the boost die on to my partner here to give her a. So I'm kind of shielding her, from his gaze or whatever. So maybe could steal her mind a little bit. So even though she can't move, she might be able to mentally hurt him.
Sounds good.
All right.
So it's just so you know, it's going to soak 5 of that 12 that you did to it and take 7 wounds out of its 20.
Whoa! Alrighty then.
All right. So with Jin being immobilized, she's not going anywhere. But luckily, being a mind mage, she doesn't have to move much.
There you go.
Yeah. By the way, the effect is that the mud around you on the ground is just while you're mesmerized by its gaze, it's creeping up and grabbing hold of your legs and trying to encase you.
Right.
Dude, that's creepy.
So what she'll try to do is help her, because this is his first mission. She wants him to shine. She's going to curse the mud golem to hinder it. Mm-hmm. So let's see here. I got the curse effects. There you go.
So Tony,
I had it open.
Plus 4 to brawn, so it would have been 8 damage, but it's got pierce 2. So I think the math works out the same. So we were close. Yep. And it is a crit range of 3. So.
Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome. Mental note: next time, put
weapons.
Put damage in. I normally always do that.
Stat of the gear.
I always do that. I don't know why I didn't.
It's all right.
You know it.
She's a skilled psionicist. Mm-hmm. She gets a green and 4 yellows.
Nice.
She's been around for a while.
Maybe we can talk Robert into adding psionics to his online tool.
Yeah.
For figuring out magic skills.
So the base difficulty for curse is 2 purple. Range is short, so I'm assuming we're having short range.
Yep.
There we go. And I will add misfortune at least, which will add after the target makes a check, you may change 1 setback dice to a face displaying a failure.
Very nice.
So
there we go.
Adding that, and of course, averting her gaze to the setback dice and the boost dice that she got from previous round.
Wait, there's more.
Yes,
You're casting magic on this weird, mysterious island, or you're using psionics, but it's a magic type.
Yeah.
So go ahead, and I'm going to spend a story point and upgrade that check.
Yes,
all
everybody out there, Stefan is trying to curse mud.
Yes. Yeah, damn mud.
You dirty creature, you.
You're as clear as mud.
Oh my! And they keep on coming, don't they? Their stuff.
Feet of clay.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like trees blowing.
Well, you remember, mud spelled backwards is dumb. So. I've got a triumph. That's good news.
There you go.
Let's see what else cancels out. This is threats, some advantages. There we go. Still got 6 advantages.
Holy crap.
One of them is canceled out by this one, so I got 5 advantages.
Don't forget to flip one of your setback dice to something, right? Or is that on them? It's their checks that you get to turn.
It's their check. So there we go. So I'm left with a success from my triumph, 5 advantages, and a triumph.
Oh,
wow!
Exactly.
All right, so fuck out of this thing.
5 advantage on a magic action.
So first off, just the base effect is that target suffers -1 green dice to his selected checks.
Nice.
For the duration, and I can maintain this as a maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
And I can switch a boost die as well. The face to change it to a failure.
Very nice.
Okay.
That's for that. So
or the setback die.
Exactly. With 5 advantages, I would at least give. Maybe I use 2 of them to give a boost. Maybe one. Yeah, one boost to
Perhaps
Joe.
maybe, if you don't mind, a suggestion.
Sure. Go ahead.
That it shakes both of you out of your fear.
Yes.
For 5 advantage?
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, so there you go. Cool. No longer afraid. And for the triumph, I would say the mud sort of recedes from her as the confidence of her spell or her power, and seeing her ally, give a resounding thump to the mud, the mud creature.
Very nice.
It shakes its concentration enough that the mud just falls off and she can float away.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Well, tried to keep the moth from flying, but it's not going to happen unless I can trap her again next turn. But
all right,
unfortunately, that's it.
That's it. And she uses a maneuver to float above.
Cliffhanger.
Best 2 out of 3. We can't do best 2 out of 3 rounds now because we failed the first round. We did pretty good in the second round, right? First round was our incidental.
That's it. Exactly. The pre-initiative.
Point is, I got to highlight my monster, and you guys got to play a little.
Yeah, we did.
We did more than 1 check each.
And he was able to curse mud.
Yeah. There will be mud flung tonight.
And it keeps on going. Well, that was fun. Well done,
that's okay.
Tony. Thanks for
That's okay. Jen needed a nice mud mask to make herself even more beautiful.
There you go. There you go.
All right. You guys want to go home?
Let's.
Yes, let's go. All right. So as we close the show for today, this is the part where I sometimes do a little bit of a shout out to one of the shows or blogs on the Nerds International Network. Some of them, quite a few of them, have taken a little break this month of January in the new year. After the holidays, I guess. So, they're all a bunch of slackers. So,
right.
But don't despair, they'll be back. Recharging their batteries. One of them is on a cruise to play his own little games. And leaving from New Orleans. And others are just goofing around, doing other stuff, recovering from the holidays. But still, you can check out the whole Nerds International panoply of shows, podcasts, blogs, etc., and look at their backlog. Listen to some older episodes that you may not have, you may have skipped over, or maybe something that you liked and listened to it over again.
That's right.
So there you go. And we're still here, plugging away and making more episodes.
Yeah, we're making episodes this month. We haven't taken any time off, so.
Nope. We're at work. Come on, work.
Yes. No, this isn't work. This is so not work. This is so much fun.
Exactly.
It really is. Well, hey, so what we have next time, in a couple weeks, we're going to have our first live play with our buddy Daryl, the gaming ho. Hey, ho. He's a
special guest.
Special guest, Daryl, the gaming ho.
Yes,
where Tony
my best friend and buddy.
Yep, and Tony's going to run Stefan, Daryl, and myself through a Primordial Machina adventure using the pre-gens that you had for your for the adventure you ran at Con and a Cub.
That's right. It's kind of a follow-up adventure to that one.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Oh, and by the way, everybody, Tony sent me the link for the Mud Monster made by Joseph Haywood. If you all would like to do that, I will have the link to that Mud Monster in our show notes. I was going to put the picture up there, but you know what? I'm going to put the link there just to be safe, and then everybody can give Joseph props, because holy fuck, that thing was scary. I even peed myself a little. Sorry. You guys didn't even know.
That's all right. So if you are Joseph Haywood and you catch word that we've used your image and you want to email us and thank us for sharing it with the world, go ahead at findingthenarrativepodcast@gmail.com, or any of our other listeners want to say hi to us, please go ahead. Yes. You can do so there at the email or Facebook at Finding the Narrative. Nerds International and Finding the Narrative are both on MeWe. The and we have that awesome Twitter presence of Stefan at FTN_Genesis. Yes. Listen to us all on all the platforms. Leave us we haven't asked for it, but if you listen to us on iTunes, leave us a review. It wouldn't hurt. It'll put us at the top of people's searches the more reviews we get. Try to make it a nice one if you can. If you can't, I understand.
That's right.
Any review would be good.
Exactly. Constructive criticism. We'll take constructive criticism.
With those awesome YouTube comments. I still get those now and again.
I know.
Again, leave us a comment. Review.
Yeah, but don't make them sappy. Actually, you can make sappy comments. I use sappy already, but...
No, I think we're driving our listeners nuts.
Oh my gosh!
I guess it's my fault for planting this seed.
Yeah, but you know what? I know deep back in their minds, they're pining for more. They really are.
I'm sure.
Right? Come on. You got one, Tony. I know you got one on the top of your brain.
Oh, I don't. But that's fine. No, that's fine. This is Tony saying, let's tell a story and each spend a story point.
And this is Stefan saying, dare to ask for those boost dice.
And this is Chris saying, remember the rule of cool and to look cool when you are wearing your flannel vestments, motherfuckers. And you know what? Just have fun doing it. Good night.
Peace.
Good night.
Finding the Narrative, a Genesys RPG podcast, is not affiliated with or endorsed by any companies mentioned on this show. Any of the products mentioned on our show or appear on our website are the property and copyright of their respected owners. All items are used under fair use and educational and review purposes. All other items are the intellectual property of Finding the Narrative, a Genesys RPG podcast. Copyright 2020, all rights reserved.